Yo, it's Bam Mamo back with Media, and this is Mind and Matter Part 3. So, we have the Egyptian deities, right? We have the god Ptah. And we have, like I explained in the last video, if you didn't go watch Part 1 and 2, we had Tahuti, which is the knowledge preset or the understanding of how Tahuti represents the thoughts. But you have Ptah, which is the self-created, or the understanding of the speaker. There had to be an intellectual or intellect of the word. So, what I'm getting at is, when you get into these mysteries, and this is the thing, we love the stories of we love the mythologies because it's showing you a lot of symbolism for things that are in spirituality, right? We love the the esoteric teachings, right? But at the end of the day, it's for you to understand to understand the correlation of how spirit and matter work, and the understanding of how soul and consciousness work, and to be able to combine Upper and Lower Egypt, or to be able to combine the higher and lower nature of man, that is between the godhood, or the ability to achieve a higher level of intelligence, and ability to be on a higher dimension of self, or a higher frequency. Or you have the opposite polarity, and you can either keep it dualistic, or you can bring it into a union. And then once you bring this union between positive and negative, between masculine and feminine energies, now you can be able to understand all things. And then from understanding, it will lead to a understanding of all things. And then from understanding, it will lead to an overstanding of all things. 369. And then this understanding, and understanding and overstanding, will lead to sound right reason, which is the right turning or the right spinning of energy. So what I'm getting at is, you have electricity and magnetism. Magnetism being the first substance, electricity being the second substance. Everything on a magnetic field having electrical currents. So when you look at an atom, you should understand the first thing you should see is an atom is actually a solar system. And I explained this in the last video, that an atom is a solar system from the previous universe, and how the matter, the leftover matter, or the decay from what they call electrons, but the decay from the previous matter from the previous solar systems, or these planets, right? They decay, and as they decay further, it is actually the matter that we use for the next universe. So then you take this decay, just like if you think about how, if you take a shit, what's going to be attracted to your shit? Flies, right? So if flies are attracted to your shit, why do you think they attracted to your shit? Because of that decay. It might be our decay, but it's their substance, their food. If you get what I'm saying? So once you can understand the connection between consciousness or mind and matter, and how matter meet, and this understanding of how once the consciousness or the mind not only condenses to make these substances, but once it actually takes its consciousness, and it takes an aspect of itself. And this aspect, or these minds, are what you call the beings from other universes, other spaces, that come in and actually become the most high to shape and fashion form the realm. And so this space would have a point in which all light comes into existence. And they call this point the black dot. And it's the understanding of how blackness or darkness is actually all the colors combined, because black and white makes 9. And black and white is the understanding of the dualistic perspective of how two energies can come together and form a unity, or a triangulation of energy between positive and negative electric and electromagnetic energy. So this is really what you're getting when you see everything. When you see an atom, you should always see a sun and a single planet, because It's just a smaller version of the sun, and they're attracted to each other by they're attracted to each other by the first law of by the first and second law of magnetic attraction. So, you know, which is done by the mind of the ancestors, or the mind of our etheric beings, or other beings that actually use their minds to shape and fashion form the realms along with the matter from the previous universe. So when you're talking about this matter, there's a reason they know how to actually bind together to form compounds, and these compounds, or these atoms form compounds, and these compounds form molecules, or they form in chemistry any type of substance when you're talking about down here. So the first law is alike to alike, which is when you're talking about how solar systems with similar planets, or similar, systems will be attracted to each other through magnetic attraction, like hydrogen being attracted to other hydrogen atoms, and then they forming the new element of the universe, of the next universe. Just like the same thing with gold, and the same thing with fermium, same thing with beryllium, same thing with all these different elements, carbon, same thing. It's going to be that's the process done. So then you have, obviously, like I said, the second law of magnetic attraction, which is a like, well, I said both at the same time, but it's a like to unalike, which is going to take two different particles, or you're going to take two different atoms, or you're going to take two different solar systems, and they're going to magnetically attract, and form compounds, and form these different things like molecules. So, and then from molecules you can form cell walls, and from cell walls you can form, uh, you know, organs and organ systems in the bodies and different things like that. When you so you know how they say every element comes from hydrogen, right? But every element on the periodic table is still an understanding that this is the process done when you're talking about before any this is the process done when you're talking about through the steps of creation. But when you're talking about in terms of our creation of our universe, there still had to be a creation of the elements from the previous solar system, but also them, doing this nine cycle to create hydrogen again. So they can literally, these beings can literally manifest energy at will. When you're talking about them being energy beings, and being able to manifest themselves, or as points of energy. You know what I'm saying? So what you call a particle, or what you call a atom, would be composed of particles, and these particles is what subatomic particles are actually your subatomic energies, or these what you call these gases, so to speak. And then, but they're only brought in by the electromagnetic scale, and so predate that is before it's brought into this creation. It's in a more conscious light, or a more higher spiritual essence of itself, where everything is energy, and it's not even matter anymore. So you you see how the elements sink into the earth based off of the magnetic bonds. If it's more dense, it has more volume. So they say the valence electrons is the outer shell of the atom. The valence electrons is actually the planets, and this, the number of planets that are in the solar system, or on the outside of this solar system, will actually uh you know try to tell you, if it needs a, what you call it, to bond, or have ionic bond, or a covalent bond, or it's going to tell you how you need to, you know and I'm going to talk about this in the next video, because I know my time is almost up, how they will bond together to complete each other. So you're like I like I'm finna they call them cations and anions, which is positive and negative electrical charged atoms, right? But we all know that a metal would donate its one electron, or one planet, to a non-metal, and complete that other um, solar system's outer shell, or it's what we call the electromagnetic field, because the charges have to be balanced. You